You know when you get cornered by that family member at the family gathering and you feel like you have to bend the truth. They're always asking stuff like, why is your face so swollen? How did you manage to sweat through a jacket, Sarah? You know, and you explain your situation only for them to not really listen and just kind of judge you. While you may have to grin and bear it with your family, you shouldn't feel that way when talking to your doctor. Enter ZocDoc, the place where you can find and book doctors who make you feel comfortable and actually listen to you. ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare highly rated in-network doctors near you and instantly book appointments with them online. I've said this a million times. I've been using ZocDoc before, and what I like about them is they listen to me. And you're like, Sarah, that should be standard. You don't understand what I've been through. Being raised by a doctor, I would have had to have a broken leg to be taken any amount of seriously. So go to ZocDoc.com/BCC and download the ZocDoc app for free. Then find and book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/BCC, ZocDoc.com/BCC. Hey guys, whenever I pack for a trip, it's not stressful, it's eye-opening. It seems I have two types of clothing. I've got stuff that I wear day in and day out to the point where it's shredded. This morning I woke up in a shirt missing armpits, right? It's not a tank top. And then I've also got another type of clothing where it's super nice and more for formal events, but I don't feel right wearing it out every day. I know I could. There's no law stopping me. But sometimes I wish there was a middle ground, and there is with Quince. It's my go-to for high-quality vacation essentials I'll be packing for trips to come. With Quince, there's things like premium European linen dresses, blouses and shorts from $30, washable silk tops, premium luggage options, so much more. The best part, all Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. I love it. Sarah, what do you have from Quince? What don't I have from Quince? If you go online right now, look up the 100% European linen short sleeve shirt. I've got about 5 of those. So pack your bags with high quality essentials from Quince. Go to quince.com/BCC for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/BCC to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/BCC.
Welcome to The Chain. We're your hosts. I'm Kendahl Landreth.
And I'm Sarah Schauer. This is the BCC Club, where each week we go down an internet rabbit hole. What rabbit holes are we getting in this week?
Today we're talking about buying your dog online.
You're like, wow, this is what? But we have, when you have research in the bank, and this is something that we were thinking about. And so we haven't, this is actually over a year old research.
Yeah, but we both have animals.
We do.
So we're passionate pet parents.
Yeah, but I don't think either of us have bought our animals online.
No. That would be, what an episode that would be. Imagine I'm like, no, and I'm a breeder.
You're like, I
breed dogs. That's what my full-time job is.
You're super defensive about it. But where did you find your puppy then?
Well, Angel was adopted before she was adopted by my fiance. Mm-hmm. And then when I met my fiance, she already had the dog. And Angel was, but now
Wait, Angel's a stepkid.
But now it's really, yes, technically.
Yeah.
But it does feel like she came out of my vagina, and it also feels, and I'm like her, all the dog-related chores are my chores, you know what I mean? Like I walk her, I feed her, I take her to the vet, I do all that, she's really my child. But technically, step-parent, if you can believe it. But she was found in a Bakersfield fairgrounds, wandering around pregnant. She'd gotten around. Apparently, it wasn't her first time being pregnant.
Oh.
And then she was adopted by an older man who then had her for like a year when she was like 6.
Yeah.
And then he passed away.
Okay.
And then we adopted her. And she's perfect.
I love that.
And she just got groomed. And so she looks like she's a long-haired Chihuahua.
Yeah.
But she is now short-haired.
It's so crazy how like a dog, like whenever I see like dog groomers, like the dog transforms,
Oh, yeah. She looks like, sometimes I do it because I get so sad because she's getting older. She's like 12 now.
Yeah.
And I get sad that she's going to die. But then I'll go get her groomed because she looks like a puppy.
Yeah.
When I get her groomed. And then it makes me be like, all her medical issues don't exist anymore.
She's fine.
She's fine. Look, she looks so little.
I love that. Like your grandma's dying, but you get her Botox and you're like, she literally has like 20 more years in her.
Yeah. What about your cat?
So I didn't buy Dopey. I don't think anyone has ever bought a cat. I think,
Unless the hairless or Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift's cats.
Yeah, the cat distribution system is pretty thorough. I actually made a sketch on that one time. But Dopey, so I used to be straight, and I had a boyfriend, and his upstairs, there was, when someone rents the entire level?
Yeah.
So him and his roommates rented the entire downstairs, and upstairs there was like this couple who had like 4 dogs and then Dopey, and they loved Dopey, but the dogs would attack Dopey.
Oh, Dopey.
Yeah, and so like it was a bittersweet parting with the owner, but she came downstairs. She's kind of upset, and she's like, "Does anyone want a cat?" And it was Dopey, and Dopey is incredibly friendly.
Yeah.
Like if someone broke into my house, Dopey would run up and be like, "Mom, new mom." Like, so I just adopted Dopey, and he's been with me since 2016. He's 12 too.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, the cat system is very interesting. There's so many of them, and I know we had found a feral cat. Well, she wasn't feral. It's like you can tell when a cat's feral. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just a vibe where it's like they're fine.
The hissing.
Yeah, the hissing, and they just seem like completely content. And we had found this cat who was like a kitten, and she was kind of like wandering around terrified and like hiding under bushes. And so we took her to the shelter, and they were like, in LA County, we don't accept cats because she wasn't a full kitten. She was like, she was really little. She was like in her first year. They're like, we don't accept cats because they're considered feral animals. And we were like, but if we leave her outside, like she's gonna get eaten by a coyote. And they literally were like, yeah, that's the hope.
Oh my God.
I know, because there's so many coyotes.
Yeah.
So then we took her in for a little bit because I love cats, but also Angel is so mean to other animals. Like she's so mean to them. She hates them. She's like she lived on the street for a long time, so she just gets very territorial.
Yeah.
And so it was a living hell. And I thought maybe I could make it work. Like I really wanted it to work. So I did all this stuff where you like put the food behind the door.
Yeah.
And you have them sniff it and you do all that. And it was just true hell where both of them hated each other so much they would just look at each other and they would start barking and hissing and pissing at the same time together.
Yeah.
And we did eventually find them a home, but for like 2 months it was really rough.
Barking and hissing and pissing.
It was horrible. This is like a kid's book.
No, I know. Yeah, that sounds like the Yellow Brick Road.
Barking and hissing and pissing. Oh my.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Naomi moved in, and they have a cat named Pharaoh, and Dopey has never had a cat friend before, and so Dopey is like this. He loves everyone, and so Pharaoh like would walk around and explore, and Dopey would just follow him like 2 feet behind.
Did Pharaoh like
Dopey?
No. Oh no.
But they started to like each other. But Dopey's like, he's like, you will be my best friend.
Oh.
We will be besties. But they fight now, and Dopey's a lot slower than Pharaoh.
Well, Dopey's the biggest cat I've ever seen.
Yeah, and so he tries to get back at Pharaoh. So we have like covered litter boxes. So when Pharaoh goes to use the bathroom, Dopey will stand on top and wait to jump on him, and he's like, I finally got you, and he'll like...
He's gonna kill Pharaoh.
Yes. But like sometimes Pharaoh will like stick his head out of the litter box and Dopey will hit him.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, that's so funny.
Dopey looks like the cat from Secret Life of Pets. Have you seen that movie?
No.
The purple cat?
Secrets? Is the cat nice?
No, he's the villain, or she's the villain. Yeah. But Dopey doesn't have the same energy, but they just remind me. He looks like a cartoon. He looks like a Pixar cat. Like, he doesn't look like a real cat.
Yeah, he like sits on his butt, and he'll like sit up and like have his gut hanging, and then he'll put his arms off to the side like a human being. And that's how he sits next to me. And I saw this article. It's like pets imitate their owners' personalities.
Oh.
And I'm like, that's Dopey, you sit exactly like me.
That is so funny. Mm-hmm. Wow, that makes me really question everything. Angel's just kind of bitchy all the time.
Wow.
Uh-oh. Well, before we get into it, how was your week?
It was good. I'm trying to think about what happened. Naomi played with the Long Beach Opera.
Cool.
Yeah, they wrote like this new opera, and I've never heard someone I've never heard an opera before, so it was really cool. The singers, like, I mean, when you know what opera is, but then you hear an opera singer, like, and you're like,
yes,
how are you doing that?
Because I think you just think of opera as like, oh.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. That was pretty good.
Actually pretty good. All right.
But then, I breed dogs and I'm an opera singer.
Yeah.
But then when you go see it, I'm sure, because I've never seen it, it's like, oh, it's much more than that.
Yeah, it's incredible. And what else did I do? Oh, geez. Oh, this is one of those things. I mean, I read books, but that's like what's new. I don't know. I was going to ask you about your week because I know you had your show last night.
Oh my God, I did. And to be honest, feel like I've been hit by a bus. I feel like
Really?
I truly have been hit by a bus. I had my sketch show last night, and it was like the one you saw was kind of like, it was like we were pitching it to the theater.
Yeah.
So it was much more chill, and we kind of like, weren't as well prepared or whatever. And then this was kind of like the big one. We had like a lot of industry people come, and it was filmed professionally by like a studio. It was like I was really nervous, and it went really well.
Hell
yeah.
It
like sold out, which I was really surprised by. I was like, that is crazy, because it's so hard to translate, especially in LA. Like I feel like if I've ever gone to like I've done shows in Chicago, or I've done shows in like when I go to Salt Lake City or whatever, it's like so much easier to sell out a show there.
Yeah.
But I feel like in LA, people are just constantly bombarded with like, every person on the internet is doing a show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they're kind of like over it.
Yeah.
So it is hard to like sell tickets to shows, but this one sold out, and it was a really big crowd, and it was really fun. But I am so tired.
Yeah.
Like I feel like hungover. Like I feel ill.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because it's such a silly show, but then it is just so much work. Like it's like doing all the costume and the tech and we wrote it, and then just like sprinting around doing like tech and the show. I don't know, it's just very exhausting. And then afterwards talking to everyone, and then I was up until like 1 a.m., which is not my vibe.
Yeah.
And I feel very tired.
Damn, I'm so sorry that I missed that. That sounds incredible.
No, oh my God, no, it's okay. It was, I mean, you came to the first one, which was so nice because that was an insane show. And there was so many, I mean, it was like a really small crowd, and it was like I said, like a pitch to the theater. So it was very nice to have you there for that one. And you were front row.
Yeah, I was excited. Well, since it got filmed, like, can we expect it out anywhere?
Yeah, I don't know what we're gonna like do with it yet, but it will definitely be out for people to see.
I mean,
which will be nice.
Maybe a Patreon. I don't know. You also have another podcast, so I don't know. I don't know how you would split it, but I think it'd be cool.
I might put it on YouTube. We'll see, see what I do. But we're gonna, we just filmed it last night, so we'll see. I'm excited though, but it was fun. But I feel so tired, so sorry if I seem insane.
Oh no, you're good. Naomi is also, they've been going like nonstop recently, and they were tired as well. So I just Naomi is a finagler. Naomi can get anything done, like any sort of paperwork, or they're incredibly lucky. They won 2 free tattoo sessions.
Wow.
With separate artists.
Wow.
They got an entire like forearm tattoo and an entire calf tattoo for free.
Are they a person who does like a lot of raffles?
Oh yeah, they see a raffle and they're like, I'm in it to win it.
Because people have said that, like, I've heard people be like, there's so many online raffles. Raffle might be the wrong word. What is it called? Like online
giveaway
competitions? Like, I don't, or like where you can just like apply and like no one applies to them, where it's like put in your email and you might be in the running for $10,000 or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like nobody does them.
Yeah.
And there's some people who like spend their days just submitting to these competitions and they win like a lot of money.
Oh yeah, like the big businesses, like if it's Tarte or something giving away, like, I mean, try it. But the small businesses, usually people like, it's the first time the small business is doing this.
Yeah.
And like and people are so like bombarded with raffles all the time. They're like, oh, I won't. And then you wouldn't realize like, oh, this tattoo artist is like, no, there's really only 5 people who DM me. Yeah. Can you please? And they're like $1,000 tattoos.
That's so exciting.
Which
they just got that this week?
Yeah.
Man, must be painful.
Oh yeah, they've been icing their forearm.
Wow.
Yeah, but they look really cool.
Do you have tattoos? If you don't mind my asking.
I have 2, but I'm trying to get both of them lasered off.
Really?
Yeah, I did go to this consultation to get them lasered off, but I made a sketch about this. It probably wasn't as funny as I wanted it to be. But the tattoo, like the laser tattoo removal person, was incredibly pretentious. And I was like, usually what's crazy is you see this with like tattoo artists, and I'm not saying that all tattoo artists are pretentious, but they're like, what do you mean you don't know what traditional is? Like how it's different from like, when I went to go get a consultation to get my tattoos lasered off, because they're just something that I don't relate to anymore if they've faded.
Yeah.
She was like, well, what type of laser do you want? And I was like, I don't know. I know that. And she's like, well, are the tattoos color or are they black? And I'm like, they're black. And I'm like, and she's like, well, where are they? And I was like, oh, one's on my hip and one's on my back. And she's like, well, the one on your back will probably go away a lot quicker because it's closer to your heart. But like when you get laser tattoo removal on your like ankles or something or your wrists, there's like less blood flow.
Wow.
And so like heat, I guess, affects this. And so like, she's like, you're probably going to have a lot of sessions on your hip. And I was like, okay, the way that you're talking to me, this isn't, why I'm literally paying for this.
It's such a niche thing to know about you. That is one of my biggest pet peeves is when you go to, I've ranted about the bank before, so I won't rant again. But where I'm like, you work here. I'm like, why are you asking me questions? Stop asking me questions and stop acting like it's crazy. I don't know. Or they'll be like, and you don't have this piece of mail?
Yeah.
I'm like, no. And they're like, well, you need that piece of mail. I'm like, okay, that's fine to tell me, but you don't have to tell it to me like I should just go run to the street is how you're talking to me. It's so insane. I don't understand.
No, I mean, I would understand if like I wasn't paying them. Like the idea of someone busting into the studio and being like, how do you get a podcast started? I'd be like, But like if you...
No, you wouldn't. You'd be like, I know you, Sarah. You would be like, here, sit down. Let me tell you.
Do you have the space and the equipment, and also what's the topic? But like, no, I mean, like, you know, if I'm in a rush, right, I gotta poop, and you're like, hey, quick, how do you start a podcast? I'm like, you know, I'll be frustrated. But like, if we had like a Patreon session where like we talk about starting a podcast, and people are like, so what type of mics do you use? And we're like, ugh,
right, insane.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
Ugh, that is just completely horrible. That is truly horrible.
Yeah, so I'm trying to get 2 removed just so I can kind of start from scratch.
When you get a tattoo removed, does it fully go away? It might depend, but does it like fully go away, or is it like, because sometimes I'll see like the first session, you know, on TikTok, they'll post like them lasering away, and it just turns white, but you can like still see it. Is that how it'll be, or does it fully go away?
I mean, it depends on like I think if you do enough sessions, it'll go away. But like if you like it's like probably like 4 sessions for like black ink. It's I don't know if there's like less or more with like colored ink. I know that you do need different lasers, and I learned that because the lady was like, "Is it colored?" But like yeah, so
it's also such a funny thing to ask, because I'm like, well, you can see, look at it. Is it colored or is it not? I don't need to tell you that information.
Yeah, but like so I mean, you get the more sessions you get, the quicker the more it fades. You can also get. Oh, this is also like I wrote this into the sketch. The thing that pissed me off is how she worded this. She's like, what type of tattoo is it? And so when you ask someone what type of tattoo they have, usually you assume what style? Like, is this traditional or is this something like this? And I was like, well, it's just like font. And she's like, no, is it amateur? Is it medical? Is it professional? And I was like, it's a professionally done tattoo. And she's like, okay, that's all. As long as it's not stick and poke. And I was like, why did you need?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What do they do if it's stick and poke? Stick and poke, I feel like fades anyways over time sometimes if it's done badly.
How why it matters is because stick and poke and like different types of tattoos, you go different depths in the skin. So if they're lasering, like if you've gone too deep, right? Like or like since stick and poke is not a consistent pressure,
right? Like
there would be deeper ink, so you get it, I guess, lasered off, and some of it comes up faster than the others. So they just wanted to so they could tell me what I would expect. But I was just like, you gotta, who's what, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah,
man.
You know when you get cornered by that family member at the family gathering and you feel like you have to bend the truth. They're always asking stuff like, why is your face so swollen? How did you manage to sweat through a jacket, Sarah? I have 2 medical professionals in my family. I can't have a discreet medical emergency if I wanted to. You know, and you explain your situation only for them to not really listen and just kind of judge you. While you may have to grin and bear it with your family, You shouldn't feel that way when talking to your doctor. Enter ZocDoc, the place where you can find and book doctors who make you feel comfortable and actually listen to you. ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare highly rated in-network doctors near you and instantly book appointments with them online. I've said this a million times. I've been using ZocDoc before, and what I like about them is they listen to me. And you're like, Sarah, that should be standard. You don't understand what I've been through. Being raised by a doctor, I would have had to have a broken leg to be taken any amount of seriously. So go to ZocDoc.com/BCC and download the ZocDoc app for free. Then find and book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/BCC, ZocDoc.com/BCC. Hey guys, whenever I pack for a trip, it's not stressful, it's eye-opening. It seems I have two types of clothing. I've got stuff that I wear day in and day out to the point where it's shredded. This morning I woke up in a shirt missing armpits, right? It's not a tank top. And then I've also got another type of clothing where it's super nice and more for formal events, but I don't feel right wearing it out every day. I know I could, there's no law stopping me, but sometimes I wish there was a middle ground, and there is with Quince. It's my go-to for high-quality vacation essentials I'll be packing for trips to come. With Quince, there's things like premium European linen dresses, blouses and shorts from $30, washable silk tops, premium luggage options, so much more. The best part, all Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. I love it. Sarah, what do you have from Quince? What don't I have from Quince? If you go online right now, look up the 100% European linen short sleeve shirt. I've got about 5 of those. So pack your bags with high quality essentials from Quince. Go to quince.com/BCC for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/BCC to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/BCC.
Well, you know who doesn't get tattoos? Dogs.
Some unfortunately do.
They do. That's true.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Well,
That's messed
not
up.
my dog. My dog doesn't have any tattoos. And what about Dopey?
No, Dopey has no tattoos. I think Dopey has a chip, but that's the most I've modified his body. That and neutering.
Neutering.
Yeah, I think spade is girls, neutering is boys.
Angel was
yeah.
spayed. Apparently, I never met Angel previous to her being spayed.
Yeah.
But apparently, people who knew her before she was spayed are like, she was very different.
Yeah, that's
and I was like, what? And they're like, she was very horny and aggressive and not, because now she's very like, if you come over, she'll kind of like sit in your lap. But they were like, before she just kind of like sprinted around panting, being like, someone fuck me is what it seemed like.
That is so uncomfortable. The thing is also you view this animal as your child.
Yes.
And so now I'm like, Dopey.
I know. It's really weird. I saw this video the other day of 2 dogs. Like, this woman was drinking her coffee in the morning, and it pans over to her screen door, and it's just her 2 dogs outside, and one of them is just, like, railing the other dog, and the other dog is just, like, looking at the owner. And I am, like, I was thinking about how uncomfortable that is, but it is bizarre because dogs just don't view it as, like, bad. Like, they don't think of it as like awkward or weird, obviously.
Yeah.
So it's just a fully neutral activity. And it does feel like watching your child like have sex.
Yeah.
Angel like doesn't hump anything. Luckily, there except one dog bed that's at Jordan's parents' house. For some reason, that dog bed she like humps constantly, but she never humps anything else. But when I lived in New York, I had a roommate who had a Pomeranian.
Yeah.
And at all times, you could just hear this. And it was just her humping her teddy bear and hitting her butt on the floor. Constant. It was constant. It never ended. Morning, night. It was every moment of every day. Her name was Chloe.
I know that we probably have a lot of dog lovers here. I'm not particularly a dog person.
Okay.
But I mean, I do like dogs. I don't. And the thing is it's not even the dogs. Most of the time, it's the owners who are like, oh, this is fine. But you're talking about like the constant noise of something being humped. Another sound that I can't stand is if someone has a dog and the dog is licking itself.
Yes, and that's my dog.
And it's like, it's the wetness that I'm like, and then sometimes of my friends or they'll laugh it off and I'm like, please, actually, like, it's disturbing me. And I know that we're in your home, but like, it's a sloppy sound.
It's really upsetting. And my dog, I've taken her to the vet because anytime I talk about this, people are like, your dog has a yeast infection. I'm like, calm down. No, she doesn't. She licks her paws because it calms her. But because I took her to the vet and I was like, she licks her paws constantly. It's 24/7. All she does is lick her paws. I got a cleaner for her paws. Like every time I walk her, I clean her paws. But then sometimes I don't and it doesn't change. I took her to the vet. Nothing's wrong. She just like loves to lick her paws. But it's a problem for multiple reasons because she digests a lot of her hair, which ends up being an issue. But for me, it literally makes me so disgusted.
Yeah.
And not by her because she could never disgust me, but the noise, it like overstimulates me and overwhelms me so much. And sometimes it's worse than others. Like sometimes she'll be licking her paws and I can't hear it.
Yeah.
But ever so often, I don't know if it's the angle she comes at it, but it is the loudest thing I've ever heard. And it's very upsetting. She knows not to do it on certain blankets. Like like we call them luxury blankets.
Yeah.
Which are just like our blankets that we're like, you can't lick on that.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'll pick her up and there's just like a huge wet spot the size of her head on the blanket. And it's really gross. And then it makes me worry that I have like nose blindness to my house and my whole house smells like her licking her paws. What do you think? Does it?
No. I think it's like, and so what I'm thinking about is like people hearing this and like, I kind of want to, it's, you know how people don't understand how like a certain sound can like set you off, but it's almost like if you think about like a sound that you can't, like a sense that you can't unlatch from, like say like someone has been smoking cigarettes and like that's their right, but cigarette smell is very loud and it overwhelms the sense. Yeah. You could tune it out, but like it's hard to. And then the licking is like in that arena where it's like, I know that we're in your home and you're allowed to make wet lapping sounds, but like, it's hard to unlatch from this. But we do have some research on why people breed dogs. What is dog breeding for everyone? First time in this life. Dog breeding is a practice of mating selected dogs with the intention of maintaining or producing specific qualities and characteristics. When dogs reproduce without human intervention, their offspring's characteristics are determined by natural selection. Yes, dog breeding refers specifically to an artificial selection of dogs. Okay, yeah. So why do you understand dog breeding? Why do people breed dogs?
It's just us explaining dog sex.
Okay, so yeah, when usually there's a penis involved, but why do people breed dogs for personal reasons, such as wanting to own or give away puppies, and they're not interested in pedigree? A pedigree dog has documentation of their entire lineage. You should be able to trace their heritage and have information on their family history and the associated breeders. Oh, what's cool is that there's actually, Ancestry.com.
Yeah.
There's that for dogs now.
I know. I just got Angel that we did a DNA test.
Yeah.
And they're really fancy now because we got one of her like a couple years ago, but it was like I got one of the cheaper ones, but it was like $100.
Yeah.
And so I was like, this will be good. That's like pretty expensive for an insane thing.
Yeah.
But it came back that she's so small. She's 10 pounds. It came back that she was Great Dane.
Oh my God.
And Italian Mastiff. And so wasted my money. Unless she's just a really small version of those two things.
Or if she's like 2%.
Yeah. But it wasn't. It was like 50-50. It was like insane. I was like, they clearly messed us up with someone else, but whatever. But so recently we got like one of the really good DNA tests.
Yeah.
And it gives you all her information and it also gives you links to, like it shows you other people who are related to your dog.
Oh, yeah.
And like by how much. And the craziest part of it was that every single dog has like a percentage of wolf in them.
Yeah.
And most dogs, it's like 0 to 0.5.
Yeah.
Or whatever. It's like most, like 90% of dogs.
Yeah.
And then ever so often there's a dog that has like 1 to 1.5% wolf. Angel, who is a small, long-haired Chihuahua, 10 pounds, is 2.8% wolf.
Oh, wow.
Like that's like so uncommon.
She's a wolf and a mastiff.
Pretty cool.
That means her entire family line, someone had to squat. That is crazy.
But yes, so people, they also, Breeders may also breed dogs for profit, if you can believe it. And they also show dogs at competitions. And some have an interest in a particular breed.
Yeah, you guys know this stuff. But what does it mean to be a responsible breeder, Kendahl?
I don't know. I don't know if it exists. What does it mean to be a responsible breeder? Responsible breeders take into consideration the temperament, health, and appearance of mating dogs before breeding. They will screen the mating dogs for hereditary diseases to try to prevent producing puppies with lifelong medical conditions. They also must care for and socialize the puppies until they've found good homes for them, including providing vet care such as vaccinations and deworming. Responsible breeders must be available to the family that adopts their puppy for entirety of the puppy's life. Let me say that again. Responsible breeders must be available to the family that adopts their puppy for the entirety of the puppy's life. That feels crazy to me. But
it's just so like, you have advice or like, family medical history. Like if your dog starts limping when they're 6, you're like, is this an act? Because I know they can be dramatic. But like, or is this like, is there something wrong with their wrists?
Got it. Yes. Yeah. The breeder will then take the dog back and find a new home for the puppy so it doesn't end up in the shelter system.
That's if they want to return the dog.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And it's usually a good sign if a breeder doesn't always have a dog available or has a waiting list of puppies. If they're responsible, they plan each litter and to be devoted to properly caring for each puppy until a home can be found.
Yeah, I know. Like there's like some, like breeders, and I feel like everyone's just I feel like a lot of people like breeding in general is just kind of bad, and I mean it's ethical, but is it? But you can just be nice, but like like sometimes you'll see like a dog who's like used to like has a lot of like puppies before, and they just look so tired, and they're kept in a cage, and like all they're used for is breeding, and I'm like that. Of course, that's not ethical, right? And like if you go to a breeder and you see that, why the hell are you still there, you selfish ass?
But also to me, I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, why do you need to buy a dog? Any person who I know, sorry if I don't know anyone here has bought a dog. Yeah. But I adore you either way. I am always like, the reasons they give, I'm like, a little eye rolly to me. Like I was talking to this person years ago where they were like, I'm gonna buy a dog because I'm a first time dog owner, and it's really not good if you're a first time dog owner to adopt a dog because like you can't like handle their emotional trauma as well because you're still learning how to have a dog. And I'm like, what? It's not. You're talking about it like it's a child. Like it's like the emotional trauma of a dog. First of all, you just like anything. Dogs can be born with issues. Yeah. So just because you're getting one from a breeder, and I know a person who spent thousands of dollars on this poodle, and the poodle can't drink water without throwing up. And forever. Like since she was a puppy. And they spent thousands of dollars, and they just kept the puppy because they're nice. They were like, well, we'll just like take care of the dog. It's okay. We don't need to return it. We'll just give her a good home. But it is disgusting. And the dog, this sweet dog is wonderful, but literally can't drink water without vomiting everywhere. So there's just vomit everywhere, and they have to constantly be cleaning up vomit like 80 times a day. It's very sad.
Oh my gosh. And also the fact that like, I'm a first-time dog owner, you're still going to have to learn about dogs. You shouldn't learn on the go. I mean, like you adopt a purebred and you're like, well, I guess, this is trial and error. I mean, it's a dog regardless. And like the idea of like, that's just so lazy,
But also feels so misguided too because I've never had a puppy, but I've watched my friends have puppies. Yeah. That is like having a baby that can run. Like that is the scariest thing I've ever seen. When Angel was adopted, already house trained, already understood most things, was like calm and chill and not a puppy. She was like 9 years old. I've seen my friends with puppies, and it is like their house is a wreck. They're having to do like, they're up at 3 a.m. like taking their dog out with like treats, trying to like train that. I mean, it's such a nightmare, and it's so hard. I'm like, getting a puppy is never the easier option where you'll need to know less. Like, I feel like Angel is a great, well-behaved dog, but I am definitely not the most educated on training dogs because like she's fine and she's old and she's just kind of like how she is how she is. But if I had a puppy, I would have to fully go down this rabbit hole of dog training and how to show them. Like every person I know who is a puppy, who then now is an adult, their dog won't eat. They're always like, the dog won't eat. How are we going to make the dog eat? Angel has she has anxious attachment to food.
Yeah.
Because she didn't have it for so long that like she will eat anything.
Yeah.
And she doesn't care. Like dry food, sometimes I make it really fancy. Sometimes I just put it in the bowl. She does not care. She loves it and she's so happy. And she always does a contentment ceremony after, which is the thing. Do you know what this is?
No.
Where dogs, after they eat, if they really liked it, they'll come over to you and they'll like rub their nose on the bed or like wherever you're at to show that they appreciate it.
Oh, that's so nice.
And I like that a lot. But I just always like the things I hear people who buy dogs, their excuse for it, because they're obviously like scared to be like, I bought a dog. I'm always like, these aren't real. Or they'll be like, famously when I've heard people like, well, I tried to adopt a dog, but no one would let me adopt a dog. I always hear that. And I'm like, shut up.
Also, if no one would let you adopt a dog, you probably just shouldn't own a dog.
100%. Well, the thing is, too, it's like, you have to wait 15 minutes. Like, chill out. Like, if you can't wait 2 months for a dog, then you shouldn't own a dog anyways. Like, why do you need a dog? So, I mean, and okay, once again, there are people who need a dog really bad. You gotta get a dog stat. But for the most part, people are just buying a dog because they want a dog. It's like, that is not and a lot of the times it'd be when I lived in New York, my friends would be trying to adopt like a massive German Shepherd. And they'd be like, they won't let me adopt them without a note from my landlord. And I live in a 200 square foot apartment and they won't let me have this Great Dane. I'm like, yeah, I agree. You should not own that dog. So it's always so hard because, and I, as a person who lives in LA, I'm like, if you can't find a dog to adopt, I don't know. Maybe you're not patient or really shouldn't be owning a dog because there are 800,000 chihuahuas here.
Yeah. Do you know how easy it is to accidentally get a dog? And you're like, oh my God. Like, yeah. And the thing is like whenever people talk about like their issue with dogs, like it's not actually dogs that are the issue. It's the owners, right?
Yeah.
And then like the owners try to like write off accountability because they're like, oh, it's the dogs. And it's like, I'm talking to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you come to my house and my cat chews up your backpack or pees on any of your stuff, I would never say, that's just cats, right? I would be like, Dopey. And then I'd be like, I'm going to pay for your backpack. I'm forever indebted to you. Like, but sometimes when dogs will tear up like shoes or something, everyone's like, dogs. And it's like,
yeah,
I understand that at first, you know, like you're
not confused. You're not like, it's not like you're reacting like a person chewed up your shoes.
Yeah.
Like you're not confused, but you're like, you still need to be not passive about it.
Yeah, just like, oh, I'll replace your shoes, and I still love my dog, and we are friends. I'll replace your shoes. I respect you. Please understand that I will do better in the future, right?
Yeah. Oh man, it's so. I used to work at a gym as a janitor. And one of the trainers was a French bulldog breeder, and I literally. This was the weirdest. I don't know. Have you had a lot of interaction with a French bulldog?
No.
These dogs
have asthma?
Well, they have asthma.
Yeah.
There is nothing going on in their brain. Like these dogs have nothing happening up in the dome. They are so bizarre. Also, they all were wearing diapers all the time because obviously he was a breeder, which was a sight to be seen. And they just are. The one named Chi-Chi, who was always at the gym.
Yeah.
Very sweet. I would pet her and she was fine and she was very cute. But there was turf at the gym. And what she would do 90% of the day was rub her asshole on the turf and just like scoot on the turf with her asshole. And this is like, I shouldn't say the name of the gym, but this is a fancy gym.
Yeah.
And it's like she's just scooting her asshole on the turf all day. No look in her eyes are glazed over. I'm telling you, these dogs are so just nothing is up there because they're not supposed to exist.
Yeah.
And what I always think is so embarrassing for people too that buy dogs is I'm like, you wait 10 years, you're going to get, the shelters are going to be filled to the brim with these dogs.
Yeah.
And like even now people don't believe me because they're like, Chihuahuas are the worst. There's only Chihuahuas in LA shelters. I'm like, yeah, that's because 12 years ago, well, longer now, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Guess who had a Chihuahua? Paris Hilton. And everyone wanted a Chihuahua to carry around. And now every single thing in the shelter is a Chihuahua. And I just know in 10 years, the shelters are just going to be doodles, golden doodles, and French bulldogs, and I'm gonna get a bunch of them. I'm gonna look rich.
Yeah, that actually, like, the dog rubbing its ass on turf actually made me so upset because I
saw that.
The thing is like, you know, guys don't even wipe down the equipment at the gym, right?
Yep.
And the ringworm scares me. MRSA
me too.
scares me. And but I'm accounting for sweat. I am not accounting for dog shit.
You shouldn't have to, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. People are just like, bring my dog anywhere. And it's like, well, ever so often, I think like 1 in 50 times a person will bring a dog that I'm like, that's a good dog.
Yeah.
Like, that dog is trained well. Like, this is a very old dog that just like, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. But 99% of the time, the person who wants to bring their dog to everything, their dog is the worst behaved dog and it is feral. And we're like, please leave it at home. Like, Angel, I love her more than anything on earth. Like, she is my entire world and I think she's very wonderful. But she does not want to go to the park. Like, she doesn't want to go to the mall with me. Like, she doesn't want to do that. And she would be bad there. Like, she would do bad things. And I don't understand. And that's not a slight to her. It's just she's a dog.
Yeah. I mean, I like when it comes to like animal secretions, right? Whenever like a dog accidentally poops or pees, everyone's like, it's natural. It's like, okay, natural is not the issue. If I were to piss my pants right now and you were to start screaming and I said it's natural, you would technically, yes, that is natural.
Yeah.
However, the context, right, of like, I should not be peeing in studio, you know? So like, if your dog is peeing inside a lot, right, and then you have someone over and they're like horrified, don't be like, it's my home, it's natural. Like, it's like,
insane.
Don't invite people over. Also, take the dog out more. This is sad.
Yes, 100%. Where should we start at? What does it mean to be an irresponsible breeder?
Well, I was going to add, with vet bills, genetic screenings, and other costs that go into taking care of multiple dogs, responsible breeding is not very profitable and can be a stressful job. One former dog breeder, Karen Dibert, wrote about her experience. She states, the sheer amount of time and energy involved in raising puppies was a full-time job for me. It was far more than just having babies in the house for 8 weeks. It started with intensive research to find quality dogs to breed with. And it included lifelong follow-up for every puppy I sold, which means that my job is not done, even though I stopped breeding. Yeah, I think this is like what you were talking about with how every reason that people gives an excuse for like why they want a dog. And I know that dogs and babies are not the same, but some people want the status of it.
Yes.
But they don't actually want to take care of the dog or the baby, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree. Well, I think it is like similar to, I have to be very careful that I say this because it's obviously not similar to adoption, but it's like the same. I mean, it is. It's like the same where it's like, I think people will be like, well, I want to have a kid because like, you hear this a lot. I think this is insane to say, but you hear people a lot be like, well, I want to have my own baby because like, if you adopt a kid, like you don't know what you're going to get. And it's like, you don't know what you're going to get in any circumstance.
Yeah.
You think that if you get pregnant with a baby, you're going to know everything about the baby, unless you're like a multi-billionaire who can do one of those weird testings where you can like make your kid have a specific color hair and like soccer, but that you're not that person probably. And you will not know what your kid is going to be like. Your kid can have mental health issues, addiction issues, and anything under the sun. And you could adopt a kid with those same issues, or you could adopt a kid that doesn't have this. It's just like, what? And I feel like it's the exact same with breeding, where people are like, well, I have to because of XYZ, but the reality is they just want something that's like perfectly fits in a box that's not complicated.
Yeah.
Where they can choose kind of like what it looks like, which they once again really can't. But which to me is like that's going to be a weird dog owner because you already are going into it not really caring much about the dog. Yeah. You're going into it with what you want.
Yeah.
Which I think is weird.
No, yeah, I mean, it's the parallels line up. They're not, yes. I mean, my brother's adopted, and like I've read so much about like adoption in general. Like people really think of children as extensions of themselves, and not their own separate human beings. Yeah. And that's why like a lot of people like with their biological children, right? Like they love them, and then when they hit 12, the child develops a personality, and then the adult is like, oh, this is no longer me. And that's why like, a bunch of like teenagers and preteens talk about like that's when they started fighting with their family. It's like, yeah, because your parents originally thought of you as them. And then when you prove that you weren't them, this is when they revealed what their true intention was.
Because it's so bizarre. It's like there's actually zero difference from like, I mean, I don't want to say zero difference because adoption comes with so much trauma, but I mean, in terms of like the way like your child is going to turn out, I think people just feel control when they have a baby biologically, which is nuts. Like, but they do feel control. Like they're like, I'm in control still. Like this is coming out of my body and it's my kid and I'm going to decide what it's like. And it all is just like made up. It's all made up. Also, sorry, every dog I've met that's been bred, once again.
Severe medical issues.
Truly.
Yeah.
And so stupid.
Yeah.
Every dog I know, which I've only ever adopted dogs, and most people I know have adopted animals, they're so smart because they're naturally bred to like
survive.
Well, they're like they said like oh my God, why am I forgetting this word? Natural selection? No, that's wrong.
They're
let me find it.
It's determined by natural. Their offspring's characteristics are determined by natural selection.
Oh, I did say that. Okay, yeah. It's like natural selection. They're just bred normally, and they're bred to be like healthier and better and like whatever. Versus like every person I know who's bred a dog, it's like the dog is like snorting its way through life and like dies at 9 and is, you know what I mean? It's just not a good situation.
Well, I mean, with a lot of like, I guess even golden doodles are not purebreds because they are a hybrid type of dog.
Yeah.
But you tell someone who owns a golden doodle that and they want to strangle you.
Really? Why?
Golden doodles are not purebred.
But why do they care if that's true?
Because golden doodles are a status symbol.
That is so funny. Also, I've heard golden doodles are horrible dogs.
Yeah, the thing is like when you get into eugenics and in the animal kingdom, right? Like if you breed something for its cuteness or you like one quality of one dog, one quality of the other, and you haven't taken into account the two original breeds of dog.
Yeah.
You're not realizing if you combine, respiratory issues and you want to make it petite, right? Like now they have an even smaller trachea. And so like the reason why, I mean, I could see a lot of like, not pugs, but those sort of like squish dogs with breathing problems aren't so smart. Because I mean, think about like most of us. If most of us couldn't breathe for a majority of our lives, we wouldn't be having these deep philosophical thoughts in our head. We would be like, in, out, in, out, right? I mean, that's why chronic pain can be so goddamn distracting.
Yeah.
Like you can't enjoy your life because you're just trying to function.
Yeah.
And that can happen in like dogs too. And I don't want, if you've ever bought your dog and you take care of it, I'm happy. That's great. But we're talking about like,
Well, I think it's hard because it's like anything, it's not like I'm like, if you bought a dog, you're a bad person. Like,
you're
I think
gonna
it's
go to
always
hell.
like, I'm not like, I don't really care about your like, you and your dog are cute, and your dog is way, more like a model than mine. But although I don't know, mine has star quality, which is something that can't be bought.
Yeah.
But I am like, just as a whole, it's kind of an industry that doesn't need to exist. It kind of only causes issues.
Yeah.
It's like already so much overpopulation and right? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I've never really thought about beauty standards in dogs, but think about like, the Westminster Dog Show. Only purebred dogs there,
Can
right?
you believe that?
Where's the mutt category? I'm sorry, but so what does it mean to be an irresponsible breeder?
Well, I'll tell you, Sarah.
Thank you.
The Humane Society publishes an annual report called The Horrible 100. In the report, they provide a list of the 100 worst puppy breeders in the U.S. The breeders mentioned in the report were found with the following conditions: dogs in extreme cold or extreme heat outside without anything to insulate them, expired medication, dogs missing from facility with breeders being unable. Well, and this is what I'll tell you because I've known a couple people that's done this. If you want a really expensive dog but don't want to support breeders, you just run around for a little bit and you will find a runaway breeder dog.
Oh yeah, in Los Angeles, you the amount of like I don't encourage this. You drive through Beverly Hills and you'll see someone has just let off like a corgi, and I'm like, okay, I guess. I mean, I'm not gonna tell you how to be a parent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, literally, my partner's dad always goes and adopts like the oldest dog. Like he'll basically go and be like, what dog is gonna be like put down soon, and then he'll adopt that dog. So he perpetually has, but he also is allergic to dogs, so he always has one of those white dogs.
Oh yeah,
the hyperallergenic dogs. So he always just has this old dog that is just so ill. And one time he got his last dog, who recently passed away, but his dog was found. It was like a breeder dog who'd been kept in a cage for like his entire life. He was just in this tiny cage that was like smaller than him. And then he got out. I don't remember how it all went down, but he adopted him at the shelter. And like, he looks so unwell. He is not a dog you'd be like, now that's a gorgeous dog. He's so old, so ill. And he's walking him one day, and this woman runs up and she goes, oh, that's a Coton de Toulier. And he was like, what? And she's like, that's a Coton de Toulier. That's one of the most expensive dogs in the world.
Oh my God.
It's just so insane, because it's like, and then the next year we were watching the dog show, or maybe the year after, the winner was a Coton de Toulier.
Oh, shit.
Or the runner-up. I can't remember exactly. But one of them was like a Coton de Toulier. And I was like, wow, really amazing. So there is a way you can, if you just wander around for a little bit, you can find a really expensive dog.
Yeah. Isn't that that's another commentary on beauty standards, right? And age, and how you're thought to be less valuable and attractive as you age. But meanwhile, someone could rush up on the street and be like, do you understand that you're talking to Cindy Crawford? You know what? But she's 45 now. She has wrinkles. She's not. You know,
exactly.
Like. But that's crazy. But God, I love when animals. I like cute animals, and that's subjective. But I also like the animals that are just hideous.
That's what I love.
That like just really old. Where I love when you go to someone's house and they're like, I'm sorry, I have to move the cat, and it's because the cat has a hard time moving, and so they, all right, Whiskers, we're gonna put you by the window, and that's like, yes,
it's so sweet. It's really it's also nice, like when you adopt a dog, Angel truly is grateful. Like you can see it in her eyes. Like when I put her on a leash, she does this thing where if you give her a big treat, her little treat, she like gets excited, but she doesn't do this. But if you give her like a stick of a treat to chew on, she takes it and she goes to her bed and she sets it on the ground and she cries over it for like 5 minutes before she eats it.
She's grateful.
She's really grateful. And I'm like, I don't know if I could have an ungrateful dog. If I just had a dog who was like, because the reason I give Angel such a good life is because I'm like, she knows what it's like to have a bad life. So every day I'm showing up for her to be like, yeah, I'm giving you the best life. But if I just had a dog that was born into it and like from the beginning was on like a bougie leash and was like going and getting groomed, like I would be like it would not feel satisfying. Yeah. And that is selfish.
Yeah.
But selfish for a good cause, which I think is fine.
Yeah, it's like Robin Hood.
Yes. They also say that dogs with wounds and thin dogs with ribs and hip bones showing, very sad. There's also dirty living conditions, cramped living conditions for dogs.
Yeah, and it's like it's, again, dogs and children are not the same, but if you see any of these conditions in an adoption home, you should also report it. I feel like irresponsible breeders put profits above their dog's well-being, amongst other things, skipping regular vet visits, not getting a health test prior to breeding a female dog before she has time to recover from the previous litter.
That makes me want to throw up. That's so sad.
It's just breeding a female dog who's too young or too old, or breeding her for more than 4 litters. 4 is the maximum recommended number of litters for a female dog to give birth. And I would recommend that for humans
as well, yeah.
I mean, if for children, yeah, if you have more, that's great. The thing is at some point, the oldest ones are going to get parentified, and it's dicey. But I'm not going to tell you how to breed. So how much money do breeders make?
One woman tried out dog breeding and noted the cost that went into it. The total expenses for one litter was $3,180. This included purchasing a purebred golden retriever with breeding rights, vet visits, food, and registration for the puppies. She had 9 puppies and sold them for $1,000 to $1,100 each. After expenses, she made $7,620 in profit. For context, the entire process of breeding and selling the dogs can take several months. Yeah, that's what I think people forget sometimes. I'm like, yeah, you're working though. This is like, people will like give you a hack about something.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's not a hack, that's a job. Or they'll be like, did you know, like I feel like I always see this like with Poshmark or something, where people are like, do you know that if you sell like 400 things on Poshmark, like something insane, like you could be making $100,000 a year. And I'm like, yeah, that's just running a clothing company. Like that's a full-time job.
Yeah.
So with this, I'm like, $7,000 is awesome. But when you've done 3 months of hard work, intensive work, that's kind of just, nice, but pretty normal. I would say like that's not that insane.
Yeah,
it wouldn't be something I'm like, you want to. That's how you're gonna make a bunch of money.
Yeah, like a hack would be parking outside of like the mall and connecting to a store's Wi-Fi so you can shop online but use in-store codes.
Yeah.
That's a hack.
That is a good hack.
Oh, you work for 2 to 3 months and you make $7,000?
Yeah.
Welcome to just a job.
Yeah, I always see it on exercise TikTok where people will be like, did you know if you just do the Stairmaster for 15 minutes at the beginning of every workout, you will lose body fat? And I'm like, I don't think I physically could do the Stairmaster for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
But that's not a hack. That's like intensive exercise.
Yeah. Like this is a hack. If you if you want to read on the treadmill, put those goggles on that are for car
that's a
sickness.
Good hack.
That's a
Those
literal
are
hack.
These are hacks.
Yeah, responsible breeding is generally not profitable. There are some websites, but I don't really want to call them out. And there's like some Facebook groups, but there's like popular dogs. And I wanted to talk about the 5 most popular dogs in 2022.
Because it changes, which is also what's so embarrassing. It's like
there's body standards, body types for dogs as well.
Yeah.
So these are the top five most popular dogs in 2022. The French Bulldog is the most popular. The Labrador Retriever, the Golden Retriever, the German Shepherd, and the Poodle. Those are, besides the Bulldog, a Lab, a Golden Retriever, those are all pretty big dogs.
Yeah.
Pretty sizable dogs. I actually, I don't know what makes a medium-sized dog and a big dog. Well, I guess big dog, I'm thinking like Mastiff. Yeah.
I would consider Golden Retriever a big dog.
Really? That's not medium?
I know. I think because I consider a small dog like anywhere from 5 to 15 pounds.
Uh-huh.
And 5 to 20 pounds.
Yeah.
And then I would say like 20 pounds to 50 pounds is a medium dog.
Yeah.
And maybe after that.
That's crazy.
I'm making this up. I have no idea. But I guess I just think like the jump from my dog to a Golden Retriever is way too big. I guess we could add another category, which is extra large.
Like Beagle?
A Beagle to me is a medium dog.
Okay, yeah. So extra large would be like a Mastiff.
Yes, I would say like a Great Dane and a Mastiff, and like those are all like exceptionally big dogs.
Yeah. What's interesting is I did do something like a DNA test for Dopey, and he's part ragamuffin, which explains why he's a big guy. Because everyone.
Oh.
Because I was like, I put him on a diet. Like, Naomi and I do so many enrichment exercises with string and, like, working out. And now that there's another cat, like, he runs around the house.
But also, that must be so annoying for you because I feel like if you have a breed or a dog that, like, has an issue that's making it big, people are like, is she on a diet? Like, do people give you unwarranted advice? Like, when you post a photo of Dopey?
Yeah, they always, like, tell me that I, like, need to feed him less. I'm like, this is, like, vet diet. Also, the other cat has, like, a specific urinary, like, wet food that they can only eat. Like, we've given them those things that make them pace themselves when they eat. Like, trust me, like, and we're running around the house with the cats. And so he's just big. He's a big guy.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay. If you were going, ethics aside, if you were going to buy a dog, which breed would you choose?
Okay. So I am not a high energy person, and that's why I enjoy cats. So if I was thinking, who's usually not a high energy dog, it'd be a very large dog.
Oh, would you do like a lab?
Yeah, or like and I mean, my apartment's not that big, but I need to get out more. So like I would choose a larger or older dog because it's
you get your one breeded dog and you said, I'd like an old one.
Well, no, I mean, like I get overstimulated quite easily. And so a dog that's high energy, I love it when other people own it, but I can't. It almost makes me feel like, like when someone texts you all the time.
Yeah.
And like you're like not responding and they feel like you're getting passive aggressive. Yeah. That's how it feels with a dog who's like high energy. I'm like, I love you, but like, please, I can't reciprocate this.
Yeah.
But a big old dog, it's like, hey, Sarah, I gotta poop. I kind of did. And the great thing about big dog poop is that it's big, right?
Yeah.
And you can pick it up.
That's not, to me, that's not a positive about a big dog. That's a negative.
Well, I'm saying it's easy to spot. Like with small
true.
dogs, they hide behind the couch and then you're like, what stinks? And it's just
A tiny little thing.
What about you? What type of dog, if Angel crosses?
Yeah, the Rainbow Bridge.
Yep.
If I could buy a dog, it would be a Italian Greyhound maybe. Mm-hmm. Or a really a teacup Chihuahua.
Okay.
Like a really bred teacup, like a 1 pounder.
Yeah.
Like the tiniest Chihuahua you've ever seen in your life. Or I'm always I would like a golden retriever, but also I hate dog hair, and that just I wouldn't be able to do it. I would brush, and I think I would think it was satisfying brushing them. Like when I watch those videos on the internet, brush my golden retriever with me, I'm like, yes. But when people... No, I moved. I swear to God, I did not fart. I did this.
No, sorry. That would have been so funny if you just farted. Okay.
Also, so funny because I get so embarrassed when I burp, and I freely am just like, no, I went like this. Of course, now it's not making the noise, but I swear it was my shoe on this.
I understand.
But I always feel like when I go to someone who has a golden retriever's house, they have 18 blankets on their couch, and then when they're the blankets are just covered in dog hair, and I could not do that.
Oh, yeah. We have blankets on our couch just because it's pink. And our cats are pretty clean, and their butts are. But you ever have a cat when it poops, and it doesn't get all the poop off, and it leaves a little stamp?
Yeah.
And I don't like when cats stamp things.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. It'd be really perverted if you did. In 2022 was the first year since 1991 that the Labrador Retriever wasn't the #1 most popular dog in the U.S., and it was wow. It was surpassed by the French Bulldog, which was at the #2 spot in 2021. That is insane. The French Bulldog, I'm sorry. It's not a good dog.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's I could see a certain person liking a French Bulldog, but to have it be the #1 dog.
Yeah.
I'm like, that is nuts.
Yeah.
They are not even functioning members of society. They are truly nothing in the brain. They're not really sweet. I'm sure people are like, my French Bulldog's so sweet. But I'm like, yeah, congratulations. But the ones I've met are like demons.
Yeah.
They get very angry. They're just horrible. They're so thick.
Yeah.
In a way that feels unnatural. They're firm. They feel like they're made of plastic. It's not good.
Yeah, that's what I enjoy about cats is that if you you bend it a little bit, it it's very fluid. A dog is just so solid.
Yeah.
But we love your guys' dogs. I did want to talk about the mixed breed or designer dogs that have become popular. So these are designer dogs. However, they are mixed breeds. We have the Cockapoo, which is the Cocker Spaniel Poodle. The Maltipoo, which is a Maltese poodle. The poodle is just getting, oh my God.
Yeah.
The Labradoodle, which is the Labrador Retriever poodle. The Golden Doodle, which is the Golden Retriever poodle. The Puggle, which is the Pug Beagle. I'm interested in that.
That one is cute.
Wait, I need to see a Puggle.
A Puggle's cute.
The fact that its name is so cute. Puggle. Oh,
yeah.
It looks like my grandma. God rest her soul. There's the Yorkie Poo, which is the Yorkshire Terrier Poodle. Everyone just wants a poodle.
I know. Which is weird to me because poodles are great, but they have a lot of issues, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, when's the last time you just saw a full-on poodle?
Secret Life of Pets.
Well, it's probably because they cost a shit ton. Wait, poodle cost.
The person I know whose dog can't drink water without vomiting, it's a poodle.
Oh,
Full-bred
wow.
poodle.
There's what's up with the poodles. And then there's the Borky, a Beagle Yorkshire Terrier.
I want to look up that one.
That actually sounds really cute. And this is this is why people buy them. Because,
Borky.
I don't. These remind me of dogs in the Old South.
Also, to me, this is crazy because I'm looking at the Borky and even the last one. What was it called? Puggle?
Yeah.
These are at shelters. Dogs like this, and maybe it's not exactly this, but so similar. I would find any dog, all these dogs, I'm like, why would you buy this? You can literally go get this at the shelter.
Oh, yeah. Wait, I do actually, if I could buy a dog, I'd buy a beagle. I think beagles are really cute. Isn't it a beagle is a hunting dog?
Did you ever, and you're looking for that, I know.
Oh, Look at the beagle.
Beagles are cute.
If you have a beagle,
I used to really want not a French bulldog. Oh my God, what are they called? A bull terrier.
Yeah.
When I was little, but they are like really intense. I used to really want a bull terrier though.
Oh gosh, the beagles have frequent vocalization. That's the other thing with, oh my God.
You don't like the vocalization?
Some dogs are chatty.
Yeah.
A husky, beautiful dog, but shut up.
Yeah.
I love you. Please stop talking.
An Afghan hound, that's what I would want. Look that up.
Ew.
Afghan hound.
Oh yeah, it looks like she has like a full wig.
She's a wig on.
If I saw that dog walking down the street, I'd be like, that's the owner of a Fortune 500 company.
At least to me that, I'm like, if you buy a dog like that, or what's the other one? Like the one that always wins the dog show. That is like
A greyhound?
No, I'm gonna put fancy dog breeds.
If I got really into hunting, I'd get a greyhound.
Yeah.
What if I just pivot to hunting?
That would be, honestly, I feel like I think you could do it.
Sarah's really into Legos breeding and hunting.
The one that like the queen had corgis, but the one that was like famously in Disney movies, it would have like long hair and it would look almost like a stool of like tassels, and then it would walk and it would look, do you know what I'm talking about?
Really long, yes, long hair dog.
If you have a dog like that, or if you have an Afghan hound, I'm like, okay. Once again, not promoting buying a dog, but I'm like, at least that makes sense to me. Like, you can't get that dog in a shelter. You clearly are into some like dog showy weird thing.
This dog?
Yes.
It doesn't have the name for the type of dog. It says Afghan hound.
Oh, maybe it's okay, I'm becoming a fan of Afghan hounds through this.
Yeah.
I'm like, if you have a dog like that, or the ones that are just so specialty that look like a show dog, and you clearly spend like all your time dedicated to like doing this weird thing with your dog, would I maybe not be interested in that? Probably not. But at least I understand where your thought process was, where I'm like, you could not get that at a pound. But I just think it is so funny where people are like, I bought a Pomeranian.
Yeah.
I bought this dog that's this specific breed, but it just looks like a normal dog.
Yeah.
I am like, I do not understand this.
Yeah.
Like, even just, once again, take ethics out of it. I'm like, you paid like $4,000 for that, and you could have like paid $25 for that.
Yeah. No, seriously.
It's wild.
Wait, there are some like selective breeding health issues. Like certain breeds are known for their distinct features and bred specifically for these features. For example, the English Bulldog is beloved for its exaggerated stout snout, stocky build shape, deep facial folds, and protruding lower jaw. Breeding for these distinct features can...
All of those are like, if you were to tell me, like, list like the worst features you can think of.
Yeah.
Like the most unattractive to be like... exaggerated snout, stocky shape, deep facial folds, and a protruding lower jaw. And they're just doing anything they can to get those distinct.
But it says breeding for these distinct features can harm a dog's health and shorten their lifespan. Researchers in the UK have linked English Bulldogs' features to serious health and welfare issues such as skin and ear diseases, eye disorders, and breathing problems. Bulldogs are 30 times more likely to develop health issues than other breeds, but researchers say that it's still possible to breed healthier bulldogs. But so a lot of people, there's other studies that show a greater prevalence of problems for brachycephalic breeds, which include English and French Bulldog, Pugs, and Boston Terriers. Yeah, so, I know that, sometimes you'll breed like a certain type of big dog with like a wiener dog, and the dog will end up coming out much larger than a wiener dog. However, that breed of dog can't have that much stress on their back. But since they are part wiener dog, like now they have new health issues because it's like the dog that you bred it with is big for a reason, and now he's low to the ground, and he's like shouldn't be that low to the ground. Do you know what I mean? I think we're just creating, like, in an attempt to make things smaller and cuter, you actually must consider that you are condensing a lot of organs.
Yeah,
you know?
You can't just keep making things smaller.
Yeah.
It's so bizarre to me. And it's like, when you get a dog, you will just love your dog. So
yeah.
Like, why do you need to get, I don't know. Why do you need to get, and then for the rest of your life, people are going to, where'd you get your dog? And you're going to have to go, oh, I don't know. If you buy a dog.
Yeah.
Every person I know who's bought a dog is like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
I bought it. Okay, I bought it. It's like, you don't want to deal with that. Just don't buy the dog.
Yeah, I think this is like a vegan issue. Not like for vegans. I mean, vegans may like this, but like, you know how people, you know, when vegetarians or vegans are like grocery shopping, and you know, it's like, why are you vegan? The food is already in the store, like the animal's already dead. But the thing is if you buy less of it, there will be less demand.
Yeah, it's like goldfish. It's like when you go to the pet store and every time I'm like, oh yeah, I wish I could just buy, the urge is to like buy one of those beta fishes.
The urge to buy a goldfish. Yes.
The urge to buy a beta fish is very strong.
Yeah.
But you just need to not buy the fish because those fishes will die.
Yeah.
And one day maybe we will stop restocking the fishes.
Yeah, and
But if you buy them, they'll go, we got to keep restocking these fishes.
Yeah, and a lot of, I mean, the thing is we talk about dogs, but like all animals, some people have the best intentions. However, if you don't know how to take care of something, like I see a lot of people with fish try to release the fish into the wild, and then they don't realize this is a freshwater fish and you just suffocated it to death in the ocean.
It feels like buying a fish is kind of an old thing that doesn't happen anymore, because I feel like when I was growing up, everyone had a fish. Like I had a fish.
I had fish, but they ate each other. And so then we never bought fish. And they weren't even betas. It was just one day we came out and the big goldfish, all the other fish were gone.
My hermit crabs ate each other. I had 2 hermit crabs. Well, my sister got one and I had one. And we like put them in the cage together. And then the next morning, I was 6 years old. I wake up, I look in there. My hermit crab's claws were off his body somewhere else. My sister's hermit crab was wearing my hermit crab's shell.
Oh my God, he ripped him apart.
He ripped him apart and put on his shell.
That's so disrespectful.
It is so rude. And then the next one I got was a beta fish.
Yeah.
And we got a really big cage, like a cage. That was problem number one. No water.
Good, yes.
Got him a really big tank and thought it was going to be so just perfect. We really set up a nice space. Apparently it was for goldfish, the tank. Mom, let me know if I'm like getting any of these details wrong, but it was for goldfish. And so the beta fish got sucked into the filter like in Nemo, like in Finding Nemo, and got broken up into a bunch of pieces.
Yeah, I think the only responsible, like what I associate with responsible pet owners are people who own like lizards and snakes, because they own a shit ton of stuff. Like they got a terrarium.
Not hermit crabs. Or guinea pigs. I feel like you see that sometimes with guinea pigs.
Not hamster owners. Hamster owners, those things die like immediately. But
well, what is that even? You know what I mean? A hamster, it's like that was made. That's not for the earth.
I think that's a pre-existing condition for most hamsters. It's like a moth to a flame, a hamster to a vacuum cleaner. Like that's what it is. It's only natural. But like, no, yeah, guinea pig owners, I know that there are bad ones, but like guinea pig owners, and if you tell me you own a guinea pig and a lizard, I'm like, you know what you're talking about.
Well, either you know what you're talking about or it's a really bad situation. Yeah. There's no in between.
You're crazy. You know what's crazy to me is like a rabbit is considered an exotic pet.
Yeah.
And most vets only take care of dogs and cats. If you have like a non-dog or cat, you have to go to an exotic vet. And that's like, so you also have to know where exotic vets are.
What do you think about bird owners?
Bird owners are... Okay, bird owners are like people who are obsessed with the color purple. You know how like people's favorite color can be green or red, but you meet someone who likes purple and that's their entire life. That's a bird owner right there.
Yeah.
Like bird people, they're a different breed.
They're a different breed.
Yeah, they are. Like, but the thing is I respect that.
I want a pig so bad. Yeah. Have I told you that?
No.
I want a pig really, really bad. And I want it to like live in my house, and I want it to be as big as it can get. I want it to be I want to be 800 pounds.
Yeah.
I'm like obsessed with these pigs. And there's this woman on TikTok who tucks her pig into bed every night. He has like a bed next to her bed.
Yeah.
And I'm obsessed with her because she has this whole setup for him. And then right next to her bed, it's a fireplace.
Yeah.
But it's like a battery operated fireplace. It's not like a real fireplace.
Yeah.
And so every night she tucks him into bed. He's wearing a hat and pajamas, and she gives him 2 Nilla wafers every night.
Yeah.
And he lays down in bed. He like knows what's happening. He lays down in bed, and the whole time she's doing the video, she just keeps going to TikTok. She keeps going, and I just need to remind you guys, this fireplace, it is not heated. He cannot burn himself. And she's like touching it, and then she'll keep doing stuff. She'll go, and another reminder, this fireplace, it is not hot. Don't worry. It is not going to burn him. It is fake. It's not real. And she says it so many times in every video. She does not want anyone to think the pig is in danger of this fireplace. And I'm like, that is going to be me. I love pigs so much.
Yeah.
And then I want to get a compost bin and have the pig, like, I'll make the pig like a slop out of the compost.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
I think if I were to want any farm animals, it would be chickens.
Oh, okay.
I think I love the urgency with which they walk.
They're stressed.
I like the sounds that they make when they're all startled. You know, normally if like 4 huskies were startled, oh, I'm overwhelmed.
Yeah.
But 4 chickens start screaming, that's hilarious.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
It also feels really like we're doing it. Like to walk out and get eggs for myself, I feel like would be a feeling that I need to experience.
Oh,
in my life.
I wouldn't be able to eat their eggs, but I do that thing of where I collect the eggs and I'd put a basket in my front yard, and you know people
Give them away.
Take
you wouldn't be, but so you wouldn't be opposed to having them make eggs. You just couldn't eat them.
I just couldn't.
Why?
I don't know. It's this. I'm eating my grandchild. I'd rather someone else eat my
not
grandchild.
fertilized. It's not fertilized, is it?
Well, I mean, if you leave it in the egg, yeah.
What? Really?
Yeah.
I thought. Wait.
That's why it's an egg.
That makes sense, because I've also seen in other cultures it's like they'll eat the egg when it's like formed. Like that's like a delicacy in some cultures of like the chicken is like half developed and they eat it. I could not do that. But but I think in my head I was like it's an unfertilized egg, but that's not true now that I'm saying it out loud.
Yeah.
Because the yolk is where they get their nutrients, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Anyways.
Guys, just try to, if you're going, the thing is like, I think of this as like doing drugs, right? Like if we could tell you the dangers of doing drugs, but if we told you guys don't do drugs, you'd be like, I think I know this. If you're gonna do drugs or buy dogs, please be as safe as you can about it, right? That's all I say.
I know some people who have bought a dog and then the breeder is like knocking on the door 3 years later being like, I need the dog back to breed more. Like some breeders, it's like you can't spay your dog. Like there's like weird, they have these long contracts and you really need to like read them. And it's just like, why? Is this really worth it to you? You think as a first time dog owner, it's easier for you to do all of this than just like get a Chihuahua who's like obsessed with you, who like lived in a alley for 6 years? You think it's easier who's like so sweet? That's the easy option, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And the ethical one and the good one to do, in my opinion.
Yeah. So I've no doubt in my mind that some people are listening to this. They've bought their dogs. We don't hate your dogs. We don't hate you.
No.
We've all done things that we just don't talk about. But I think that, you know, just take care of the dog, and you're like, I am. You don't know where I am. Yeah. But you know, we're not condemning you, but we're just having an open conversation.
No, I don't care that much, to be clear.
I care about general animal safety.
Yes.
You understand.
You know what I mean? But we're just like, what are you going to do? I mean, some people it's more about the overall industry.
Yeah.
Versus like you and your golden retriever.
Yeah.
Who I'm like sure is really cute. And they do really well in America's Got Talent.
They do, yeah. And we need more of that. But let us know how you feel. Let us know your purebred specific medical issues.
Yeah.
Let's know I know a lot of the Golden Doodle crowd hates when you say that they're not purebreds, but they're designer dogs.
If they're not, then it doesn't matter.
They're not.
If you're offended, then you're toxic.
Sorry, liberals. But yeah.
And for just to get devil's advocate, if you have an adopted dog that's ruined your life, comment down below.
Yeah, let's even the playing field.
If your biggest regret is adopting your dog, comment down below.
Yes.
And thank you so much for being here. If you are listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere you get your podcast, make sure to rate, review us. Just give us a little kiss in the rate box. And then if you're on YouTube, make sure to like, comment.
Oh, shit, sorry, I just bumped the mic, sorry.
You okay? That looked kind of painful.
No, sorry.
If you're on YouTube, like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you next Wednesday.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Bye.
Bye.